Hello everyone, back with another component of grammar and composition. It is passages for comprehension. So all of you know about the passages, the comprehension passage that we call it. Let us know what comprehension exactly means. It is a learning process. It is the ability to understand and gain meaning from what has been read and being able to communicate this information to others. So that is what comprehension means. So when you come across a comprehension passage or a passage which you have to comprehend, means which you have to understand. So how do you understand it? You first read it properly, and then when you are able to communicate the information to others, that is when the learning process is complete. Okay, so this is about, in short, what comprehension passages are supposed to be. Okay, all right, there are some points that you need to ponder upon. Ponder means you need to keep into consideration, you need to think about them. The first thing is, the passages have been selected from literary, descriptive, and narrative text types. Okay, so literary passages, when we say, they might be related to literature. When we talk about descriptive, they might be ones which describe a particular uh, incident or an idea, or they are descriptive in nature, means they describe something. Narrative speaks about a narration, that means an incident that took place and somebody is writing about that incident specifically. Okay, so that is narrative. So in your syllabus you have these three type of passages that you will come across. Another thing you have to keep in mind is, read the passage carefully before attempting the questions set on it. All right, now these, you might be thinking that these are some very unimportant things that I am probably telling you about, but then let me tell you, all these times I have come across students saying, and I know that even you people do that, you're in so much of a hurry that you start finding answers to the questions without reading the passage. Okay, that is the biggest mistake that anybody can make, that you can make. So don't do that. First read the passage carefully before attempting the questions set on it. All right, because they are very easy. A passage has 10 questions and it carries 10 marks, right? So if you read the passage in that time which is provided to you as the time for reading, 15 minutes that you get, you should definitely read the passage. Okay, that will help you come out of any sort of confusion and be very direct with the answers that you write. Okay, now question number 24 is the passage for comprehension in the annual exam. So it is question number 24, that is the passage for comprehension. Okay, now it says, answer the comprehension questions in a cluster and in a sequence. So this, now 24th question has, as I said, has 10 questions, okay, from A to J. So this marked in green says how you should do it. That's the correct way of attempting the question. All right, they should be in a cluster, meaning to say that they should all be in sequence and together. Okay, so one after the other, A to J. And look at this one written in red, it has in a confusing state. So after B somebody answers D, then J, then E. That is a very wrong way of attempting questions. That just does not show that you are confused with your understanding, your comprehension abilities, and it also gives an idea, or it makes the examiner feel, or the one who is evaluating the paper feels that this person is trying to misguide or confuse me. So that gives a wrong impression and might have an effect on the marks that you get for this. So better not get into all that. It would be better if you answer the comprehension questions in a cluster and in a sequence. That is the only way to answer the questions. Okay. Answers should be precisely written. A very important point that you have to keep in mind is nobody wants an answer where you are beating about the bush. Beating about the bush meaning to say that you are not direct, you are not precise with your answers. You're just trying to create a whole sort of a background and then slowly come to it. That is not needed. The questions are 10 and every question carries 1 mark. So for a 1 mark question, you need to write the answer precisely. Okay. So let us take a look at this example. What occupation was the entire village dependent on? It has been just picked up from one of the passages. So let the question be this. What occupation was the entire village dependent on? The answer is fishing. Okay. Now, another way of writing the answer can be the occupation that the entire village was dependent on was fishing. Now, here you are writing the complete sentence, and at the end of the sentence is the answer. Now, why to go to such an extent, to such a length to answer a question which can be done in the simplest form, right? You can just mention fishing and just get done with it. So, instead of writing the complete sentence, this way of answering is the best. Like you write fishing and that's it. Okay. Now, questions must not be written in the answer script. Now, that is again one thing that has to be kept in mind. Example, the same question, what occupation was the entire village dependent on? The answer is fishing. You pick up the question from the question paper, write the correct number and write the answer, the precise answer. Some people happen to write it this way, all that which is written in red. You write the question again and then the answer. It is not needed. It is just a waste of time. Either you try to kill time or you are unnecessarily wasting your time in doing all this. When the question is mentioned in the question paper, you just need to write the correct question number and the answer against it. Okay? No need to write the question in the answer booklet as well. Okay, so questions must not be rewritten in the answer script. 2 of the 10 questions are based on the following. Okay, now these are the things that you have to keep in mind. Out of those 10 questions, you have 2 of any of these types. Okay, the first is word classes, that is the correct form of word. Example here is kings and emperors would successfully communicate with each other through couriers. Now you have to, this question belongs to the word classes. Okay, which is the appropriate form of verb to be used here. You have to pick that up and write the answer. So here it should be successfully communicate. Okay, this is just an example to make you understand what type of questions follow. Next, prefixes to form antonyms. You have a question where you have a word given and you have to add a suitable prefix to form an antonym of that word. Here the example is educated. Okay, let the word be educated. So a prefix to the word educated to form its antonym can be uneducated. Okay, so the prefix un to be added to the word and then you get the antonym of it. So this is another type of question that is likely to be there. Suffixes. add suffix to the word power to make its antonym. Now, sometimes you get to add suffixes to the words to form an antonym as well. Okay, so such sort of a question can also be there. So if you have to add a suffix to the word power to make its antonym, it should be powerless, right? Now, another type of question, one word substitution. So, which word in the passage means period of a king's rule? So, that the word exists in the passage, the question has the complete meaning of that word. So, period of a king's rule, that complete meaning can be substituted by just one word which you need to pick up from the passage. So, for the answer to this question is reign, R-E-I-G-N, reign. That is what it means, period of a king's rule, right? R-E-I-G-N is reign. So, such sort of questions too can be there, one word substitution which we call. Another type can be synonyms. Okay, the questions can be like the one here, the word loan in the passage means. Okay, so the word loan, there might be some options given here, or you might have to find out that exact word from the passage, okay, which is synonymous to the word loan. All right, so these are the type of questions apart from the normal questions that are based on the passage. These might be the type of questions out of which two such sort of questions can be there. Okay, you might get either a question based on word classes and prefix, or a question based on synonyms and one word substitution, or a question based on prefixes and another one suffixes, like that. Okay, so 2 of the 10 questions are based on the following, okay, on this vocabulary part or grammar part that you can call it as. So these type of words or these type of questions are there in the questions, among which range from A to J out of those 10 questions. Now the next one, this is an example passage for comprehension. As I told you previously, it is question number 24. So this is just an example of that passage. Okay, you can just go through it. And now these are the question answers. Not all the 10 of those, 10 of the questions have been answered, but a few have been taken up so that you know how to answer. What was the male runner called as? Hirkara. Who introduced the first postal service in India? That's Warren Hastings. Whom did the kings and emperors prefer to deliver their dispatches, runners or horsemen? When did Ibn Battuta travel in India in the middle of the 14th century? What did Muhammad bin Tughlaq establish? An organized system of couriers. Where do the couriers sit? In the 3 sentry boxes. Which word in the passage means new ideas or techniques, innovations? So these are a set of questions to make you understand as to what type of questions come across and how should your answers be framed. Okay, instead of, as I said previously, beating about the bush, you need to be very precise and direct with your answers. You need to write as precisely as possible without going to a stretch, to a length of answering and writing sentences after sentences, which is not needed. Okay, so this was about the passages for comprehension, which carries a good chunk of the paper, that is 10 marks. So if you are smart enough and quite aware of what you are doing and keep all your mental faculties open when you are writing or answering, you can easily score 10 out of 10 because the passages are pretty simple. Okay, so that was about it as of today. I hope this proves to be helpful to you. If any queries, you are again welcome to get back and ask whatever your queries are. Till then, I would want you people to just go through the video again. Do not take things very lightly as to just that we would do it and we'll get it done somehow. Just take a note of a few things because these are important things, right? So that's as of today. Have a good day. Thank you.